Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the autonomic nervous system, or the ANS. The ANS is a part of the much larger nervous system. The nervous system is divided into the central nervous system, or CNS, which is made up of the brain and spinal cord, and is the center for the body's processing and cognition. The peripheral nervous system, or PNS, is made of all the nerves and ganglia, which aren't a part of CNS. The peripheral nervous system is then further divided into the somatic nervous system, SNS, and the autonomic nervous system, or ANS. The somatic nervous system includes all the neurons, or nerves, which are connected with the body's sensory organs and muscles. It is made up of afferent or sensory neurons, which deliver the sensory information to the spinal cord, and efferent neurons, or motor neurons, which deliver signals from the CNS for the muscles to move. It is also responsible for involuntary reflexes. Finally, getting to the autonomic nervous system, it is responsible for the body's involuntary functions and processes. It is further divided into the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. Both of these work antagonistically with each other, meaning they both complement each other's functions. The vertebral column is divided into 5 areas: the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, and coccyx. The sympathetic nerves have a thoracolumbar outflow, which means they branch from the ganglia of the lumbar and thoracic only. The sympathetic nervous system is responsible for the fight or flight response. This mechanism was developed by the brain to deal with situations of stress and danger. This response has been vital for the survival of our species by enabling our ancestors to run from or be able to cope with dangers such as predators. Sympathetic nerves branch from the spinal cord and they all synapse in the paravertebral ganglion. They are called presynaptic neurons. The pathway in which the action potential moves is as follows. The preganglionic nerve comes out of the spinal cord using the ventral root, which then joins with the dorsal root, forming the spinal nerve, and then finally it passes through the white ramus to synapse in the paravertebral ganglion. The preganglionic nerve releases acetylcholine to stimulate the postganglionic nerve, which then goes out to the spinal nerve using the gray ramus. The postganglionic nerve then reaches the target organ, releasing adrenaline. There are 5 different receptors for adrenaline, divided into 2 categories: the alpha adrenoceptors, alpha 1 and alpha 2, and beta adrenoceptors, beta 1, 2, and 3. Each receptor reacts differently to adrenaline, causing various effects on the receptor organs. When the action potential reaches that synapse, the neurotransmitter acetylcholine is released, triggering another action potential in the postsynaptic neuron. Running from the paravertebral ganglion and to the target organs, the postsynaptic neurons, which are much longer than the presynaptic neurons, synapse directly with the target organs. The action potentials sent from the sympathetic nervous system cause several effects intended for our survival. In the eyes, it causes pupil dilation, enabling us to see more. Also, several processes which stand in the way of survival are inhibited, such as salivation. Furthermore, the bronchi become relaxed in order to let in more air, therefore producing more energy. The heart rate is increased to pump more oxygen to the cells of the body, causing blood pressure to increase. The functions of the digestive system are also inhibited to save energy for more important functions. The release of glucose from the liver is also stimulated, providing the body with a quick source of energy. And the bladder is constricted because, obviously, you don't want to have to interrupt your running from a tiger for a toilet break. The parasympathetic nervous system, or PNS, does the exact opposite effect of the sympathetic. Summarized by the words rest and digest, it is responsible for the housekeeping work of the body, the functions you need when you're resting. The parasympathetic nerves branch from the spinal cord in a craniosacral outflow, meaning they branch out of the cranium of the head and sacrum part of the vertebral column. In the PNS, acetylcholine is released in both the synapse between the pre- and postsynaptic neurons and the synapse between the postsynaptic neuron and the target organ. This leads to multiple effects, which affect the same organs as the SNS. Instead of dilating, the pupils become constricted. Salivation is stimulated to facilitate the digestion process once more. The bronchi are constricted, since the body doesn't need as much oxygen anymore. Heart rate drops, decreasing blood pressure with it. The digestive system is also stimulated to resume its regular functions. Glucose released from the liver is inhibited due to the decreased need for energy. And, finally, the bladder is relaxed, allowing you to pee once again. This has been a brief explanation of the autonomic nervous system. We hope this video has been useful to you, and thank you very much for watching.